Hello, everyone. So, a very happy new year to all of you. And, you know, uh, as always, we are here with our another version of Insights Corner. It took a little time for us to go through this or to create this Insight Corner. The reason was we were, occupied with the JPM. So JPM is done, and we are, moving ahead. So this Insights Corner is about what we have done is this time is we have focused on ASH, American Society for Hematology, and within ASH, we have picked up multiple myeloma as the indication of focus for this Insights Corner. So we will obviously talk about what has been presented at ASH, what were the key highlights related to multiple myeloma, but we will also go beyond ASH and talk about other things as well in respect to multiple myeloma. Now, so moving ahead, uh, yeah. So before I change the slides, another thing is we are kind of moving ahead with more deeper insights from this year and more robust analysis. Apart from that, we will also pick more indications or more therapy areas. Secondly, if you need the deck, you can directly download it from our October's website and from the Insights Corner page. But always, you can always request us for, you know, you can reach out to me or my team to get the access of this basically of Insights Corner, and we'll be more than happy to share it with you. Apart from that, we will also be releasing a lot of other updates like JPM, Jeffries, and quarterly reports. So yeah, feel free to reach out to us. Again, once again, my team or anyone else for that matter, and then you can register via link and get the Insights Corner deck from that. Okay, so moving ahead, let's move on to the slides. I'll try to be as faster as I can without losing the insights, basically. Right. So again, this year, this time we have uh, tried to create Insights Corner in a little more robust way, so that it adds value to your to yeah. So you can skip to the sections which you are interested in. This is what we are going to cover: that multiple myeloma highlights from ASH, opportunities assessment, regulatory updates, landscape, what have been the investments, and social media analysis basically of ASH. Now, but another new thing which we have done this year is from this version. So from now, this version will have the old access to older versions. So if you have missed the previous version and if you have asked for this copy, you can get access to the previous versions also. So like we have covered AACR. We started with the AACR last May, and then we did the tariff impact, ULAR, ADC, then Animal Health. We covered obesity and GLP-1s in November and December. Additionally, we also covered one big beautiful bill, which was kind of extension to the June IC version. Now moving ahead, talking about our 67th ASH annual meeting. So why we chose multiple myeloma specifically? So multiple myeloma is one of the biggest indications of ASH. And talking about, there were approximately 22% of the abstracts were focused on multiple myeloma, and there were new researches, novel therapies, and a lot of improved results and outcomes which were presented. But moreover, you can see that uh, approximately one fifth, actually more than one fifth of the abstracts which were presented were out of 9,000 abstracts which were presented at ASH this year. When I say this year, I meant 2025. 2,000 were related to or focused on multiple myeloma, in one way or the other way, basically. So that's the reason we picked up within ASH, multiple myeloma. Now, in terms of session divestment or segregation, you know, there were 381 poster abstract sessions, then 98 oral abstracts, scientific sessions, and so on and so forth. Now, in terms of distribution by clinical phase, and again, there are beyond clinical phase studies or results which were presented, RWE and all that also. But if distribution by clinical services, you see 18 clinical phases results for phase 3 were presented, phase 2 35, and phase 1 37. So obviously this is a very high number. Within the phase 3, if we talk about istacizumab, isatuximab had the highest number of abstracts presented, and these are, again, I'm talking only about abstracts. So this is very important, and then it gives the reason why we have chose over anything else, right? Moving ahead, why we think ASH is reshaping multiple myeloma care? Because of five, we have taken, these are five examples which we have taken, but again, they represent something. Each example represent a overall pattern, basically. There were results of changing trial results like MajesTEC 3, very evident and very specific and very important results. We will be talking about them. Then ASH immunotherapies like CARs, tri-specific, bispecific, from early stage treatment to late stage, from late stage diseases to early stage, and all the paradigms, basically. Or then minimum residuals negativity is being cemented. I mean, this is as an endpoint. Companies and regulatory authorities are working on creating this as a substantial endpoint, and it's being adopted. Now, new combination therapies are emerging within this space. Uh, Example here, we have taken one example from the J&J, which again we'll be talking about it. Then we are also talking about some emerging therapies, again, as CARs and off-the-shelf antibodies, which were discussed or which were assessed during ASH this year. Now, talking about novel targeted drugs and gene therapies which were presented, BRODEP dose optimization was presented, phase 2 results, basically, from yeah in the R/R multiple myeloma patients, basically. Then there was a gene therapy breakthrough, which is Scalen 1010, which is a gene therapy, and then the results were presented in MMyCAR trial, basically. Then targeted therapies like BGB 11417 were presented in truncated 11 14 positive R/R patient subgroups, basically. So again, these are, again, we're not saying that these are the only ones, but these were very high impact creating and very talked about studies or results which were presented at the related to in the ASH. Now, some of the key highlights. Again, this is obviously beyond, but these are our analysis. Increasing treatment options for was a major breakthrough, such as Tec Dara in relapsed refractory patients, Capolaris, lenalidomide and dexamethasone combination, selinexor and lenalidomide combination in newly diagnosed multiple myeloma patients. Bispecific antibodies and CARs are becoming the new treatment paradigm, basically. This year, there was a lot of highlight in pairing up anti-CD therapies with bispecifics, which we have seen uh, in the Tec Dara MajesTEC 3, which was a phase 3 study basically, right? And then gene breakthrough therapy, which we have just spoken about in MMyCAR trial basically, which demonstrated, MRD negative responses. Right. So these were very specific four highlights which we think. Now, some of the specific things which we have discussed about are bispecific breakthrough results, which is Tec Dara, Johnson& Johnson study, MajesTEC 3, highly specific results. If we talk about, though MPFS was not reached, but if we see the 36 months PFS rate, ORR rates, these are off the chart results versus the standard of care, right? And this has been you know these are very highly specific results. Um, Teclistamab basically already has an approval in um, in R by R MM patients, and J&J, but it is a ready to use a BCMA CD5 CD3, sorry, bispecific antibody, right? And trial design, and then the safety and efficacy results have been exceptionally good, and it is emerging to be an a great standard of care, or emerging to be a great treatment option, and it could become a standard of care in the coming future basically, right? And yeah, and I think these are very fantastic results which were presented at the ASH this year. No, so tri-specific, again, very specific results. Again, a Johnson& and Johnson molecule. This is not a promotional piece basically for Johnson& and Johnson, but yeah, they are doing a lot of work. So one thing evidently we tell you is Johnson& and Johnson is being very bullish on multiple myeloma. You will see multiple products, right? And they are assessing a lot of molecules, maps, ADCs, bispecifics, trispecifics, and so on and so forth. Right, yeah, I think these are very, and this is an innovative molecule, which is a tri-specific molecule, which is BCMA, GPRC5D on myeloma cell, and CD3 on T cells. So, and I think very, very highly specific safety results, because this is phase 1 study. So safety results are again encouraging, and then I'm pretty sure J&J is planning to take this this molecule ahead, and then go for a phase 2, and then so on and so forth study basically. Another very important point, the RP2D was defined basically in the study. So that is now defined as 100 mg, and it is a once in a 4 week basically, subcutaneous 100 mg subcutaneous once a week. Oh, sorry, once in 4 week, which is once a month basically, with 5 mg following a single 5 mg subcutaneous step-up dose basically, right? So it's a very very, it seems to be very potent, and shows a good safety analysis, right? Now another another therapy which is being assessed is CAR T therapy. Here, phase 2 study of this kite molecule, efficacy at 12 months, again, very encouraging results. Overall survival, and then both PFS are showing very good results. Safety is also uh, okay. The reason is that there are only 9% grade 3 and above infection basically which has been observed. So and I think all the other hematological common safety profiles can be treated. So it is very specific results. And again, the line of therapies, again, these are difficult to treat patients, basically at least three prior line of therapy R by R patients. So very difficult to treat patients. So I think Anito-cell has the potential, and then I think this has come directly from the kite, that it has a potential to get launched in 2026, which seems these are just phase 2 results. Probably they are already running a phase 3 study. I'm not sure about it at the moment, but I think, yeah, um, these are very potent results, basically, for sure. And if the company is saying that you know they have a potential to launch it in 2026, that probably could be the uh, you know possibility. Now, talking about the opportunity, how big is the market? So market, obviously the market is very, very big. It is estimated to become a approximately $50 billion market by 2034. And at the moment also, if we talk about, it is a $30 billion market. In by the end of 2025, it was a 29 or $30 billion market. So obviously it's a very a growing market, basically. It is going by the rate of 6% CAGR. Obviously, these estimations are they may change from we've taken it directly from the secondary, so they might change from organization to organization. But again, it's a long range estimation, and the market is still bigger. And even if we take it conservatively, then also the market is very big to ignore, basically. And that's the reason the organizations like J&J, Gilead, Gilead, basically, and we'll also see the landscape in coming slides. So they are very, uh, very big, basically. And yeah, moving on. On a global scale, multiple myeloma accounts for approximately 0.9% of the new cancer cases and roughly 1.2 of all cancer deaths, basically. So this is a very impactful number. If we see that Asia tops the chart in terms of incidences and as well as the mortality, and then that's also the reason which you will see in upcoming slides, that there are a lot of China or Asia specific trials, and even companies from these locations emerging as innovators for multiple myeloma. One of those examples is, again, this, no promotions or something like that, but Legend Biotech, Chinese company working with J&J, in multiple myeloma space, basically. Right. And then there are other more molecules. This was just one example which I worked upon in some time back, basically. Then Europe is the second biggest market. And obviously, the Africa and Oceanic disease, countries are the least or the smallest markets. But again, these are very grim numbers, but encouraging for a lot of pharma companies. The reason is, the bigger the market, the major chunk they can get, right? And it is worth exploring. Now, we want to also talk about regulatory, policies, updates, approvals, and guidelines in the space. So, this is a very consolidated treatment algorithm of multiple myeloma. Right, and obviously, as a standard of care or primary RT and radiotherapy, basically, and autologous and allogenic um, stem cell replacement therapy and HCT are considered to be the standard of care, basically. But there are other standard of cares, specifically in terms of high risk smoldering asymptomatic multiple myeloma. It's Daramumab and Lenalidomide, right? So they are in the high risk specific patients. Daratumumab and Lenalidomide, bortezomib, and dexamethasone has become again a standard of care for first line, I would say, in patients, basically RYR patients specifically. If I talk about, then again, lenalidomide is also, lenalidomide is the is kind of a benchmark, right? And then daratumumab, again J&J product, very highly potent and being used across the indication at various scale at various line of therapies, like basically, right? Uh, all the recommendations are actually two-way, and this is taken from the various taken from the very recent NCCN guideline. But this is again not exhaustive, because there are multiple other uh, other recommendations also, which should have been included here, but again we have consolidated at one place. So that's the reason uh, treatment algorithm is non-exhaustive. Right. So now we also not just NCCN guidelines, but we'll also talk about the approval timelines. So you can see that space has been busy across the timelines. If we talk about 2015, 2017 time, there were four molecules: daratumumab, which is Darzalex, J&J, right? Then BMS has Amplicity, then Ninlaro from Takeda. They all and Povio from Pharma and Streamline, basically in Europe. You can see that these are the four products which got approved in this 2 years timeline of 2015 to 2017. 2018 to 2020 was kind of a slower year, we with only three molecules approved, but these three molecules were again a kind of different in nature. Darzalex, obviously the follow-on product of SC formulation, was approved right in 2020, and I think, yeah, this is very important update. But most of the approvals have come into the 2 year cycle of 2021 to 2023, basically, which turned out to be last 2 years, uh, which have turned out to be very important years, basically 2 years. We had an Epsima, which is an CAR-T, Johnson & Johnson CAR-T. Then we have an ADC, I think, uh, checklist map, basically from Johnson& Johnson. So basically, if you see within the approved landscape, you can see we have what, one, two, three, four, five. So five approvals in 6 years, 7 years timeline from Johnson and Johnson. And that's why I was saying that J&J has been very bullish on space. Basically, they kind of own the space. Other bigger players are there, but they have literally owned the space. Whether it is a small molecule, subcutaneous, in follow-on product, they have kind of all. Right. Here in the space, basically. And then we have and in recent, which is last year, another molecule, one molecule approved, which belongs to Regeneron, has created a lot of buzz last year. We will be seeing a lot of other upcoming molecules getting approved in this space in 2026 and beyond. But yeah. Now, in terms of, so again, staying on the regulatory, we will also talk about some of the designations which were very specific to So there were a lot of specific designations which were given. Small companies such as Opna Bio received for OPN 6602. Right. It's a dual CB9, CBP EP300 VRD inhibitor, basically. Uh, Currently in phase one, and I'm expected to complete the phase one study is expected to complete in 2026, basically. Has received ODD. So, and then the Glenmark's molecule, which is ISB 2001. It's a tri-specific antibody, and it received approval. Received FTD, Fast Track designation, in May. Then Regeneron's already approved molecule, which was there. Um, it has got accelerated approval, right? And this was approved in April. And I think, sorry, yeah, this has got an approval in April 2025 from EMA too. Now we have again another small company, Brightpath, receiving ODD, Heidelberg Pharma, again anti-BCMA molecule, FTD, breakthrough designation for the Trivac. Um, yeah, I think I think yes, it just recently received. Johnson has received this approval basically. Sorry, breakthrough designation recently. Uh, and I think they have also received CNPV. So we will be discussing what CNPV is in the next slide, basically. But this is a recent pathway which has been introduced by the US government, basically. So now regulatory policy which has been very recently introduced by US government or US federal FDA, basically, the Commissioner's National Priority Vouchers, or CNPV. It's a pilot program. It is designed to accelerate critical drugs and biologics, basically. Right. It was launched in 2025 June by FDA, and benefits are revolutionary speed, better transparency in terms of communication, broader scope, right, and rapid decision making. So 30 to 60 days kind of a turnaround time, which is very, very fast. So if we compare CNPV, right, if we compare CNPV with the other designation, uh, uh, a review time, CNPV is 1 to 2 months, whereas any priority review has um, uh, 6 months with for serious conditions. Interactions, rapid decision timeline, basically. Within the other designation, fast track has frequent timelines. Then we have guidance, very specific guidance, and then breakthrough has exceptional promise guidelines, basically. CNPV specific criteria. Public health crisis should it's focus on health crisis in the US. You are get becoming you have introduced a transformative care, potential unmet need. It should have US manufacturing and trials, basically. So trial obviously is definitely is there, but US manufacturing is an important point in this scenario, basically. And then affordability. So company plans to bring in affordability is a very important factor. Now moving ahead, highlights of the CNPV. Uh, so far, two batches have been released. Okay. Uh, I think the October batch and November batch. Um, there were two approvals in the December also, but they have been considered in the November batch itself, basically. So November batch consists of 8 vouchers, whereas first batch, which was October batch, which consists of 9 vouchers, basically, right? Then in the so one thing, uh, domestic manufacturing of Augmentin XR, first approval under CNPV. But if we talk about so the first biologic or something like that, a drug being approved was this J&J's molecule, basically the combination of teclistamab plus Dara, based on yeah. So it has been approved in December this year. So very recently they have, and this is the first molecule, a first combination biologic being approved. Then there are other vouchers which have been received by again ADC Oncology, which is Sarituximab and ADC. There are other, so you can see it's a variety of molecules ranging from infertility, blindness, and antibiotics, and then obesity drug. Oncology, obviously, uh, has the chart with 4 5 designation vouchers. But again, this is across, this is not oncology specific, though the first molecule getting approval is for oncology, and the first voucher released was an for an antibiotic drug, which is because of the manufacturing capability, introduction in the US basically. Now, so this was till now. This was more of regarding the ASH and regulatory. But now let's go beyond and talk about beyond ASH, the landscapes of multiple myeloma. So multiple myeloma is very vast, very big. So we have tried to incorporate as much as we could in terms of. So we have already spoken about approved molecules. We have already spoken about designations. Now we are only in this 3 to 4 slides, we are going to only talk about the clinical landscape basically. So first we are discussing 1L plus basically. So in the in this section, you can see based on the PCD between 2025 to 2023, we have in phase 3, we have 3 molecules which are being assessed from BMS, GSK, and Sinocelltech, which seems to be a Chinese product. And I think the location of trial is also China, basically. Right. We have then phase two. Within the phase two, we have a gene therapy. We have a combination from Oluranin, which is again, I think gene therapy plus other molecules, uh, LDC and all that being assessed here. Regeneron's molecule. This is so Regeneron molecule is already approved in R by R, I think, but this is for first line. Then we have, so you can see there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So within the space, there are 5 molecules which are Chinese in 1L plus basically, right? And this shows this is also a trend. Whereas we also see there are a lot of biologics and ADCs being being assessed here, right? And couple of cell therapies. Now moving ahead, R by R is a different story altogether. They are very it's a very congested and very difficult landscape. Again, you see a lot of trend in Chinese companies. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, close more than 13 companies, if I'm not wrong. Approximately 13 companies are there. There are category of we have IV, IM, and all that. Plus, we see a lot of trend in the within the phase two and phase three space. Chinese have companies have predominantly running there. Cell therapies are making their strides. If we talk about phase one molecule, which have the PCD within 2025 to 2030, again, 10, 12 companies, very specifically, a lot of CAR-Ts actually. So in a long-term vision, if you see CAR-Ts and then cell therapies, CGTs basically, are long term we can see those products, but in a short term we are seeing a lot of ADCs predominantly coming to the market. Now moving ahead, in terms of product profile, we have picked up a standard of care which is very common. It got approved. Piploris, which is an Amgen molecule. These are protease inhibitors. There are 3 protease inhibitors which are already approved and obviously are the standard of care. Caploris being one of them. It got approved in 2012 in the US, and then followed by Europe, Japan, Canada, and China. So China is the recent one in 2021. What we have done is key results. We have taken Caploris is already approved in R by R multiple myeloma based on Aspire. So first results were based on Aspire study, and we have the label. We have taken those results from the label. But then there are newly diagnosed multiple myeloma. This indication yet to be approved, and And then we have the trial is a Cobra study. This is an ongoing. These are interim analysis. So these are ongoing results basically, right? We see, and then we talk about a company profile. As Percentage Biopharma seem to be an Hong Kong, you know, initial Hong Kong based company, now registered in NASDAQ also. The financials have been again first half versus if we talk about, yeah, first half of 2025 is good versus the first half of 2024, right? I think they have a good pipeline. Uh, they have spent a lot of good results. Sorry, good amount of money in the. They don't have a product in place, approved product in place, but they are assessing Lisa Lisaflotex in combination with the lenalidomide and dexamethasone in China, and there is also a US study which is ongoing. They are assessing other molecules in various other oncology indications, solid GISTs, CMLs, CLLs, and all, which you can see in the pipeline. It's a China headquartered company. So again, uh, that's what the trend is talking about. Now, so what we have done here is we try to analyze the news, which was, as far as our understanding is, it was like from for us basically it was a big news from our understanding. So C4 Therapeutics signed a collaboration and supply agreement with Sanofi for basically, right? So C4 Therapeutics has started a phase 1 study in 12 and above patients with multiple myeloma. It's a clinical trial and supply study basically where Pfizer will provide its molecule at no additional cost, and then it's a clinical trial supply agreement basically, right? As per the pipeline, the Olvirembatini is approved in China for CML, and they are also planning a phase 2 registrational study, which is expected to start in Q1. So, this year basically. And phase 1B study is also expected to start in phase 1B study, which is obviously going to be the combination study with the Pfizer molecule. That is going to be starting uh, again in quarter two, basically 2026. Right. So, moving ahead, we'll talk about some of the investments. In terms of deals, you see, there are obviously maximum number of deals. If in the top, if you see, so one, it is is showing a consistent behavior. Every year we have double-digit deals. 2024 was a bit of a dip, but yeah, I think 2025 has seen the surge, and 18 deals were formed in last year. If we talk about overall deals, if, in the cumulative manner, development and licensing commercialization deals are the biggest chunk of 24 deals, which is followed by, I think, clinical trial agreement deals, which is 12. Uh, uh, and then which we have just seen C4 Therapeutics and Pfizer deal basically. Now, in terms of phase distribution, this is very interesting to see that a lot of deals are platform discovery, preclinical IND deals, basically. So, if we combine this number together, so basically before clinical, if we combine the number, it becomes 33. So, in last 5 years, out of total deals, 33 were basically pre-IND deals. Right. And in terms of deal type also, uh, sorry, asset type basically. So compound and drugs are the 32s basically. So it's a very interesting numbers and very consistent numbers if we see. Right. we have done this deep dive on one deal which was happened in 2025. Recent deal, November 19th, this deal where Tempest Therapeutics has acquired Factor Biosciences. Factor Biosciences has a parallel dual CAR-T TPST uh, CAR-T therapy basically, which is being assisted multiple myeloma, and the Chinese BLA is planned for 2027, and the phase one is already obviously completed, and data readout is expected in the 2026 basically this year. Now, in terms of the transactional details, you know, common shares, approximately 8 million common shares have been common stock shares have been issued to the Factor Biosciences shareholders, and they can exercise the transaction immediately. And the share price, exercise price would be $18.48, 18.48 basically. So approximately 18.5 dollar for one common stock share. And this is a pretty decent number considering the Factor Biologics is a past Chinese company, and the shares basically, right? Okay. Now moving ahead, we have dig deep into the social media analytics. So when we went into the social media analysis, we thought of creating this KOL profile. So we have picked and choose Joseph Michael. Joseph is associated with Translational Genomics Research Institute, which is also known as TGen. He's a hematologist basically. Um, he's based out of Phoenix, Arizona, right? But very importantly, if you see his record, he has got 159 publications basically. He has been associated with more than four trials. Basically, he has some of his publications include the recent publications include uh, being you know the reviews of and the literature review, I think, which was published in Hemisphere, whereas Lancet Hematology, he has published results from. He has been involved in the result publication of isatuximab, which is a Sanofi molecule, IKEMA trial. I think this was a phase two study, if I'm not wrong, right? And then he has written editorials also. Right. So yeah, he's a very influential person with key insights on um, um, the myeloma space basically. So if we talk about the LinkedIn impact, of the ASH, so we have tracked 28 days of December, because again, last 3 days were very unimpactful in terms of December. So 28 days, and we have seen a 1960K plus post impression. Every day the impression has increased. Obviously, it took a surge on day 10, because again, I think Ash started on day, I think, 10th of December, and then the surge has been increasing and increasing over the December month, on the day till the day 28th, basically. Right. Then engagement ratio is 70 plus, which is very high. We have used hashtags like Ash 25 and multiple myeloma. Right. So yeah, that's that. Then in terms of LinkedIn highlights, a KOL or a DOL, I would say, we have picked is Leon Van Woof. So this is his post, and this post has drawn comments from Gary and the reply to. So this is something which we have tried to highlight here, and some of the obvious questions which were asked across multiple uh, by multiple users or multiple LinkedIn profiles were these. So moving ahead from this profile, we go on Twitter. So we went on Twitter, and when we see that, 500K plus post impressions and engagement ratio is between 5 to 10%. Right, and then 50 plus viral posts were there, and these viral posts, some of the viral posts like 12 threads of Karma 3 and Imagine One drug CAR T cell have drawn 25K plus viewership of each. So this is a very highly specific and big number. A lot of hematologists posted. We specifically focused in terms of Twitter. We specifically focused on Multiple Myeloma Hub, a Twitter handle. They have posted multiple results from ASH, multiple posters, like Matthew Rees poster, Maria's two posters basically. One is Dream 7, Dream 8 study, and one another is MajesTEC 3. Vincent Rajkumar, who is also a KOL, have posted again in MajesTEC 3. So overall top view, if I talk about selinexor and lenalidomide study results have in the maintenance study of NMDD basically, NDMM study has shown maximum views. Then and Tec Dara combination study followed the is the second one, and then Belamaf based regimen, BVD and BPD. The Dream 7 and Dream 8 basically results have take, gotten a lot of views basically. So yeah, that's about the multiple myeloma space and the ASH. We have tried to touch base on a lot of things. We have data from other, so the data which we have presented, we have backup data for it, Excel-based data, and from where we have taken it. So yeah, if anyone is interested into that, feel free to reach out to me or Rakesh with the subject line of ASH 2025, and then we will share it with you. And you, as I said in the initial part of the IC starting, that we will now be launching this on our new website. So you can download that from our website, the Insight Corner from our website directly. And yeah, you can obviously reach out to us. If you need some sort of any customized, uh, profiles of work, will feel free to reach us. If you want us to conduct global studies which are focused on hematology or multiple myeloma specifically, in terms of primary market research, reaching out to doctors, uh, quant studies, and all that, feel free to reach us. We'll be more than happy to provide you with support. We have been working with various pharma companies, providing them support in this space. So thank you so much for listening to us and being a consistent user and listener and uh, downloader of our reports, and obviously continuously showing interest in our reports. Feel free to share your views, feedbacks on the YouTube videos or on our website or anything like that. We'll be more than happy to uh, get in touch with you. So yeah, looking forward to hearing from you. And thank you so much. Have a great day.